舐めてると承知しねえぞ。
In the streets of New York City, where humans and monsters coexist and jazz fills the air, lies Hell Salem's Lot, the chaotic setting of Blood Blockade Battlefront. At the heart of this maelstrom is Leonardo Watch, a young man gifted with the extraordinary, all-seeing eyes of the gods. These powerful eyes came at a steep personal cost, which drives his journey through the bizarre landscape of Hell Salem's Lot. The story follows Libra, a secret organization tasked with maintaining the fragile balance between the two realms. Libra's members possess unique abilities and work to keep the city from descending into complete anarchy due to the constant threats from monsters, crime syndicates, and other supernatural forces. Leo ends up joining Libra and uses his eyes to help them complete their missions, becoming part of their team, and we follow Leo through his adventures in the city. The show's stunning visual style, brought to life by Studio Bones, enhances its chaotic charm. The city pulses with energy. Each frame is a visual feast that captures the frenetic nature of the supernatural melting pot. Dynamic fight scenes explode across the screen, yet even quieter moments are filled with life, making the world feel constantly in motion. A kinda interesting feature is the use of bold, blocky text during special attacks, adding an extra layer of excitement to intense scenes. Common in anime, where people typically shout out their attacks. But every time this one dude, Klaus, comes on screen to shout out his attacks and it's announced, it just feels so fucking sick when he obliterates a demon. The chaos and dangers of the city, controlled by Fempt, the king of depravity, create a beautiful symphony of action and destruction throughout the city, which our protagonists are ready to combat. The architecture and atmosphere evoke a mid-20th century America aesthetic, creating an intriguing contrast with these supernatural elements. It kind of gives a Men in Black vibe, where people just coexist with these aliens and it causes a lot of different interesting narratives. And it also gives a Cowboy Bebop feel, as there's a huge, amazing OST soundtrack that's heavily jazz-based, which I'll go into later, and it's really, really just awesome. Blood Blockade Battlefront's soundtrack, composed by Taisei Iwasaki, is a perfect complement to its visual style. The jazz-infused score captures the essence of the show's setting, evoking the spirit of old New York, while adding a modern twist that matches the series' supernatural elements. During action scenes, the energetic beats amp up the excitement, making each punch and explosion feel more impactful. In quieter moments, the soundtrack adds depth and emotion, helping to draw viewers into the character's experience. The opening, Hello World by Bump of Chicken, is an energetic rock song that perfectly captures the show's blend of excitement and underlying melancholy. Its upbeat tempo and catchy melodies set the stage for each episode, and when they play the opening at just the right time in the final episode, it just hits so hard. The ending theme, Sugar Song and Bitter Step by Unison Square Garden, is so memorable and possibly the best anime ending of all time. Its jazzy upbeat sound contrasts interestingly with the often intense content of the episodes, providing a moment of lightness and reflection as the credits roll. Even if the episode was super emotional and completely different from the ending, it still fits in somehow. Together, these songs start and end each episode with a musical flourish that enhances the overall viewing experience. You probably have seen the ending animation before as a meme, as a bunch of different people animate other characters into the ending because it's just so cool. The episodic nature of Blood Blockade Battlefront allows for a wide range of experiences and character growth. Each adventure provides new insights into the characters' personalities and relationships, gradually building a rich tapestry of interconnected stories. From prosper matches to underground otherworld fighting rings, the show constantly surprises viewers with its imaginative scenarios. I mean, there's literally a whole 30-second montage about Leo eating hamburgers with this chill little mushroom alien guy, and the whole episode is about how he just wants to eat hamburgers and he just can't because he's an alien. It's actually just one of the best episodes in the show. It has an amazing musical score that plays throughout the episode that just ties everything well together. It highlights how captivating the show can be with a single storyline, sort of like a slice of life but with a little more thought put into it. The randomness and exploration of the series through each individual story allows for gradual world building and character development without the constraints of a rigid plot. This narrative structure mirrors the unpredictable nature of Hell Salem's Lot itself, where anything can happen at any moment. As we follow Leonardo and the members of Libra through their various misadventures, we're slowly piecing together the puzzle of Hell Salem's Lot. Information about the city's origins, the nature of the supernatural beings, and the mysterious powers at play are doled out in small, tantalizing bits. This creates a sense of discovery that keeps viewers engaged episode after episode. Blood Blockade Battlefront weaves complex themes of hope, despair, and the human condition into its episodic stories and character arcs. The eternal struggle between light and dark is personified in the mysterious twins Black and White, whose relationship with Leonardo forms the emotional core of the series. Basically, White is Leo's love interest, and they have a pretty fun, enjoyable relationship in the series, which is fun to watch. Black is White's twin, and they care for each other a lot, with their parents and themselves often commenting that the two of them create a whole. The problem originates when Hell Salem's Lot was first created during the Great Collapse, which brought the two worlds together, creating the setting. White dies in the Great Collapse along with many other people, but in a last-ditch effort to save White, their parents replace White's heart with the barrier that holds in Hell Salem's Lot from spreading to the rest of the world. Black, who happened to be in the epicenter of the Great Collapse, literally gets possessed by Satan, which further reinforces the Western aspect of the show. In a desperate attempt to get her brother back, White backstabs Leo in an agreement with Satan to use Leo's eyes to cause a second Great Collapse, leading to the season's finale. Hope manifests in various forms throughout the show, but the themes of hope are extremely prevalent in the finale with Klaus's battle with Satan, who possesses Black's body. Klaus takes on the daunting challenge of battling Satan while trying to make sure William lives. Satan ridicules Klaus, calling him too innocent to even be called a fool, but Klaus remains undeterred, believing in his ideologies. His beliefs remain steadfast from the start of the series. It's never about defeating evil, but about refusing to let it defeat you and not giving up. An example of this can be when Leo tells Klaus early on in the series about his trauma from receiving his eyes. Klaus tells Leo that he's not a coward for what he did, but he's strong because rather than giving up, he chose to stand on and keep walking forward. This unwavering hope and belief is what fuels Klaus von Reinherz, and the clash between the ultimate hope and ultimate despair continues on in a brutal fight, with Klaus taking a beating as he stalls for Leo to arrive and save Black from Satan. This last episode is really great, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff from this short review by Jacob Chapman. Basically, the showdown between Klaus and Satan is personified by the colors red and blue, representing hope and despair respectively. Red being the hope of mortals or humanity in general. Klaus is like the head of humanity, striving to protect it as a race. As the head of Libra, he bears the responsibility of keeping the mortal world safe. We see him bear the responsibility of being head when he seals a bloodbreed, or a vampire, during episode 4. And after the battle, when he's sealing him, he says, Blue is the despair of immortals, or the despair of demons, like Satan himself, who has lost it for his unquenchable desire for power, his reason for wanting to cause the second Great Collapse. Leo, who has been captured and restrained, is offered the choice by Fempt if he wants to play a game. However, Leo straight up just refuses to play the game and just walks up the long staircase leaving. And when Fempt is talking to Satan about it, they comment on how ordinary Leo's response was. Down in the city that is thrown into chaos by monsters everywhere, Leo makes his way towards Black and Klaus, receiving help from all the Libra members on his way. This sequence of Leo making his way through the nightmarish city as a regular person just goes to highlight how ordinary he is, but also how valued he is as a Libra member. Leo tells Zed how, thanks to his last few months at Libra, he's able to move forward, and Zed just replies telling Leo that his ability to not think twice about danger and to rush in and save his friends is not the same ordinary that others would call ordinary. By the time Leo arrives, Klaus is beaten to a pulp and he's covered in blood. Refusing to use his eyes as weapons to kill Satan, Leo sees that Black is crying from inside his own body and he wants to live. So Leo uses his god eyes to get help from White, who is there in between the vices of life and death. And through Leo's eyes, Black finally sees his sister's ghost, and her forgiveness pulls him out of the depression he plunged himself into when he originally lost his family. White had been living on borrowed time for 3 years, and Black's refusal to accept this reality kept him bound to his contract with Satan. He breaks down in White's arms, believing the world might as well end if they can't be together anymore. But White's response emphasizes the show's message about the human condition. White tells Black that the world could end at any moment, not just from the Great Collapse. It could be any sort of evil force that could lead the world to destruction, and it may just happen one day. But we can never just let it happen. Fighting back against whatever forces urge the world to shut down, against temptation, death, despair, pushing against a constant struggle is what creates life and keeps people living until the darkness is pushed back all the way. White tells her brother that there is more to life than just her, and even without his family, Black would do just fine. She had discovered that there was more to her world when Leo stepped into her life, and she knows that Black can find other people as well, promising to him that he will be fine without her. This reinforces the idea that the world is worth fighting for, despite the setbacks or loss of those who we hold close to us. Even if there's no guarantee of success, or if we live the most mundane, ordinary life, it's still worth it to live through. This series offers a unique perspective on the human experience, blending humor, action, and profound themes to create a viewing experience that resonates long after the credits roll.